Sun Tzu teaches that an army's invincibility lies in its defensive strength, the skill to close any gaps the enemy could exploit. He argues that defense is not weakness, it is a sharp, intelligent act of power, maintaining strength, forcing mistakes, and patiently waiting for the perfect time to strike. An invincible army is one that offers no easy target, no clear opportunity for defeat. A true commander anticipates the enemy's moves and positions his forces to counter threats before they ever become real. Defense is the heart of invincibility, preserving both strength and resources. A well-defended army forces its opponent to attack under desperate conditions, draining their energy while the defenders stand firm. When defenders are positioned perfectly, they provoke the enemy into reckless attacks, exposing fatal weaknesses. The defending side can then exploit these openings at the enemy's lowest point. Sun Tzu links invincibility with patience. A general must defend wisely and strike only when victory is assured. The art of strategic waiting becomes the key to winning. The Great Wall of China stands as one of history's greatest examples of defensive genius. Built over centuries by various dynasties, it guarded the empire against endless invasions from nomadic tribes like the Xiongnu and the Mongols. More than just a wall, it was a vast network of fortresses, towers, and garrisons. It served as both shield and warning system, allowing Chinese forces to mobilize swiftly. Though not impenetrable, it forced attackers to waste enormous energy and resources trying to breach it, often making them question whether the cost was worth it. Beyond its physical strength, the wall stood as a symbol of the Chinese state's will to survive. During World War I, the trench systems mirrored the Great Wall's lesson. Stretching hundreds of kilometers from the English Channel to Switzerland, the trenches transformed the battlefield. They included layers of defenses, barbed wire, minefields, machine gun nests, making direct assaults suicidal. No man's land, the ruined earth between enemy lines, was a death trap. The result was deadlock. Neither side could advance without catastrophic loss, forcing innovation, tanks, poison gas, air attacks. Yet trenches remained the war's defining feature until the very end. In Stalingrad, during World War II, the Soviet Red Army turned the city into a fortress of resistance. Rubble, shattered buildings, and twisted streets became weapons. Soviet soldiers fortified factories, apartments, and underground hideouts, bleeding the German army dry. Urban warfare neutralized Germany's advantage in open combat, trapping their forces in brutal, exhausting battles. The Germans wasted lives and resources without breaking Soviet defenses. Months of relentless fighting drained them, allowing Soviet reinforcements to gather. Finally, when the Germans were weakened beyond recovery, the Red Army struck. Operation Uranus smashed into the German flanks, surrounding the Sixth Army and cutting it off completely. Deprived of supplies and hope, the Germans surrendered. It was a crushing defeat and a turning point in the war. Sun Tzu also stresses the art of pacing, shaping the battlefield's rhythm to your advantage. Whoever controls the pace forces the enemy to react, stripping them of initiative. War, he says, is the art of creating favorable conditions, rather than relying only on brute strength. The best army forces the opponent to dance to its tune, leaving them helpless and disoriented. Readiness is key. A prepared force not only defends, but maneuvers the enemy into mistakes, forcing them to act rashly, at a disadvantage. Shifting between sudden attacks and calm patience keeps the enemy off balance. A commander must seize these moments of confusion to strike hard. Sun Tzu advises that arriving first on the battlefield is crucial. Whoever gets there first shapes the ground, the battle, the outcome. Adapt to the enemy's moves, but always stay the one in control. Make them fight on your terms, not theirs. The Battle of Blenheim in 1704 illustrates this perfectly. During the War of the Spanish Succession, the Duke of Marlborough led a bold 100-kilometer march, surprising the Franco-Bavarian forces. He set the pace, forcing the enemy to slow down and react. Swift, unpredictable strikes shattered their formations, dividing and isolating enemy troops. The result was a crushing victory that broke French and Bavarian power in Central Europe, proving the power of controlling pace and initiative. In World War II, Germany's Blitzkrieg, or Lightning War, showed the devastating impact of rapid, coordinated attacks. Tanks, infantry, and aircraft smashed enemy lines before defenders could organize. Blitzkrieg overwhelmed Poland and France, letting Germany dominate Europe early in the war. Fast strikes, deep advances, and broken communications left the defenders paralyzed. Napoleon Bonaparte, too, was a master of battle rhythm. His movement warfare isolated enemy forces and forced them to react to him, not the other way around. Swift marches and strikes split enemy armies, defeating them in pieces even when they had greater numbers. Victories at Ulm and Jena Auerstedt showed how controlling pace and disorienting the enemy could decide wars. Napoleon's genius for pacing made him one of history's greatest military minds.